Hi guys, and welcome to this episode of Render Tip Tuesdays. Today we are going to take a look at depth maps from Keyshot and how to get them into Photoshop and use them in our post-production process. So this is our final render that we are going to do today of this camera. And as you can see, we have a little bit of a depth of field applied. And this is the before shot. This is straight out of Keyshot with a background added. And we are going to take a look at how to achieve this. So I'm here in Keyshot, and this is the scene that we're working with. And I have set up a camera here that has a really high focal length of about 200 millimeters. And this is just to give a more of a zoomed in kind of isometric view. And with the depth applied, then we are going to get this kind of like detail shot that we are going for. So of course you can add depth of field in Keyshot itself. So if you scroll down in the camera settings, here you have this checkbox next to depth of field. So if you click that and select a focal point here, so let's select this point in the middle here and adjust the f-stop to around 3. Then you can see the blurring that's happening in the foreground and in the background. But the trade-offs are that we cannot change this blur in a later time. So as this is rendered, this is what you get, and you cannot change it later. This is why I like to use depth maps. So if you go to first uncheck the depth of field and go to our render window, you can check the depth channel here in our layers and passes. If you check this depth setting here, you will receive an additional file in your render folder, which is an EXR file. And this has a black and white image which stores the depth information. So I'm going to render this out and let's see what we get. So here we have our two files. Here's our render as a PSD. This is what I chose in the render settings. And here, this is our depth map. So let's import it into Photoshop and see what we have. So this is our file in Photoshop, and let's quickly add a solid color as our background here. Let's put this down in as the first layer. Change it to maybe a little bit of a brighter gray. And this is our file. Now let's import our depth map and just drag and drop it into this taskbar up here. And as transparency is completely fine, this is the options of our EXR file. Click OK, and this is what we have. As you can see, there's not much information currently available. It's just a black and white image. But as soon as we go to Image, Mode, and click on the 8-bit channel, it will ask if we want to merge this image. And yes, we want to actually merge. And here in this HDR toning setting window, we are going to Method and Equalize Histogram. As soon as we do this, we can see the preview, what we're going to get. And this is exactly what we're looking for. Click OK, and that's it. So what you can see is that the darker areas are the ones that are closer to us, and the brighter areas are the ones that are further away from us. But actually, this is something that we want to invert. So we want to have the brighter areas facing or being the ones that are closer to us, and the darker ones that are in the back. This is just how depth maps work usually, so we can change this quickly. Go to Image, Adjustments again, and go to Invert or click on Control-I. Now we have this corrected, but as you can see, since we don't have an actual 3D background added in Keyshot, it presents us this white background. And this is something that we don't want, because the background actually should be all the way in the back, completely black. Otherwise, the blur setting in Photoshop will not work properly. So to change that, just click on the paint bucket tool or go to or click on G on your keyboard and adjust the tolerance a little bit. I have it at 32 currently, and uncheck the contiguous setting here. Make sure that the black color here is in the foreground as a foreground color, and just click in the white area. So this is our finished, let me zoom out here, this is our finished depth map that we can now use. Now we want to add this into our original render file. So to do that, go to Control A to select everything, or go to Select and All up here. Then just copy, go over to our original render file, click on Channels here, and add a new channel with this icon on the bottom here. In this new channel, we just Control V to paste the copied image, and this is now ready to use. Go back to the RGB channel to view the original file, and now we can try this depth map. So now select both of our layers here and go and drag and drop it to this new layer icon over here to make a copy. And now with those two new layers selected, go to Layer and Merge Layers, or Control E. And this just merges the background with the foreground, and this gives us a little bit of a more realistic blur in the end. So now for the blur, go to Filter, Blur, Lens Blur, and this effect gives us this realistic lens blur effect. As the source, we have to check that alpha 1 is selected. This is our depth map that we just copy-pasted. And now we can go ahead and select whatever point of focus we want to have. This is something that we cannot get with a depth of field effect straight out of Keyshot. Here we can always change the point of focus. So with our point of focus selected, just click OK. And this gives us our image with the depth of field applied. So that's it for this week's video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, leave a comment down below, like it, and subscribe for more videos every week. Also, follow my Instagram linked below to get some previews of future videos and other design related content. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye bye. Alrighty, that's it.